Real World AIP, the channel dedicated to helping you implement the autoimmune protocol. I'm Stacy, and today I'm going to show you how to make a super easy protein batch cook that'll last you for 2 weeks. This is for anyone from a total beginner who has no idea how to cook to a seasoned AIP veteran who wants to save some time in the kitchen. Estimate how much protein you eat in a day. A typical average person might eat 12 ounces a day, 4 ounces breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or maybe they have a batata bar for breakfast and then, 6 ounces at lunch, 6 ounces at dinner. Or maybe you eat a whole pound of protein a day. If you don't know, then go with 12 ounces. That would equate to 5 1/4 pounds a week. Let's round up, leftovers are good. Let's say 6 pounds a week, fine. To do a two weeks worth of protein batch cook, pick up 12 pounds of meat and fish. I would suggest like maybe 3 pounds of ground beef, 3 pounds of a big cut of beef or lamb or bison that you could throw in the crock pot, maybe 3 pounds of chicken, and 3 pounds of wild salmon. Add a bonus too if you hide some liver in that ground beef or if you make up some clam cubes. Let me show you how to cook the meatballs and the crock pot hunk of meat and the salmon. So here is 3 pounds of salmon. I thawed them overnight in the fridge, and now I'm just gonna portion these out into 4-ounce portions. I'm gonna take these portions and I'm gonna wrap them in parchment paper. Wax paper? No, not the same. It's got to say parchment. These I find really handy. You can find these on Amazon. I'll link below. They're the perfect size that I can split that in half, and it's the perfect size for 1 salmon portion. You can use aluminum foil, but it's not really healthy to have your food touching cooking aluminum foil because some of that can, like, the aluminum can get in the food. So not a good habit, but I mean, you do it once, it's not gonna kill you. You're gonna take 1 piece of that parchment, you're gonna put 1 portion of salmon on it. I like to put a little salt, maybe a little lime juice. You don't have to put anything on this. You can put stuff on it later. And by the way, you're leaving the skin on because that's gonna peel right off after it's cooked. You basically fold it over, fold the sides. Ta-da! Anybody could do this. Anybody. There you go. Your kitchen might look a little wonky for a few minutes, but that's okay. I'm gonna fit as many of these as I can on my little toaster oven tray, but if you have an oven like most normal people, then you just use a cookie baking sheet and put them on that. And all you're gonna do is bake these at 320 degrees for 20 minutes. Why 320 degrees? Because you want to cook your protein at a nice low temperature so that you don't create carcinogens and things like that. The most fish anyone ever batch cooked in a toaster oven in history. 3 pounds. It's perfectly cooked through without being dry at all. This is perfectly cooked salmon. Like, you do not want to overcook fish, especially wild salmon. Watch how the skin comes right off. Yeah. And this is also so easy to store and doesn't take up a lot of room. You use basically one of those awesome reusable BPA-free silicone bags, or you can use a big old freezer bag. And you just put them in here and they go right in the freezer just like this. And then you could just take each one out individual and thaw it like this overnight. How easy is that? For 3 pounds of ground meat, I'm just gonna take this out of the packaging, pop it into a bowl, and proceed to make the meatballs. And to this 3 pounds of beef, I'm gonna add 3 teaspoons of salt because 1 teaspoon of salt per pound is the magic formula for well-salted, yummy meat. I'm gonna do a scant teaspoon. A little bit of space, and I'll tell you why. This is my other ingredient, and this is optional, but I'm gonna be using the Super Gyro. I love this blend, and there is a little salt in it. That's the only reason I didn't do a full teaspoon of salt over there. This is optional. Let me measure. I usually would just sprinkle, but I'd say 1 tablespoon is perfect. There you go. The only other thing is fresh garlic, and I'm using about 4 cloves of minced garlic. And that is it. The garlic and herbs are optional. These would honestly be good with just the salt. Meatballs are awesome. They have their own delicious flavor. This just really makes them absolutely amazing. And it's easy. It takes not much extra time. Now all we're gonna do is make 2-ounce meatballs. So we have 3 pounds of beef. That means we're gonna end up with 24 meatballs. It's good to have uniform shape because then they all cook at the same rate. So you could use a scale if you'd like. First we're gonna mix this up. Get all the salt and herbs and garlic evenly dispersed. I know no better way of doing this. 2 ounces is gonna be like this size, and just proceed to the meatball rolling. There you go, they're ready to bake. These are gonna hold together perfectly. They're gonna be delicious. Pop them in the toaster oven at 320 degrees for 25 minutes. As you can see, these are cooked to perfection. See? I'm just gonna portion these out, 2 per mason jar. They're awesome to throw into a scramble. I eat them cold right out of the fridge. Limitless possibilities. I'm gonna show you the easiest way in the world to make any kind of meat or chicken. Any old big hunk, any cut. The cheap cuts are great with this. The tough cuts, anything. Chuck, roast, brisket. This is lamb, boneless leg of lamb, but you could use anything. Here's your recipe, okay? Take this out of the package. Plop it into the crock pot. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt per pound of meat. And then we're going to add water. No measurement. Once again, I'm going to add this water until it almost covers the top. You want it like that little iceberg sticking up. That's perfect. You put a lid on it. You put the dial on low and go to bed. Go to bed for 8 to 12 hours and wait till you see what happens when you wake up. And yes, it is that easy. And yes, you can put carrots and celery and onion and bay leaf, but you don't need to. Okay, we'll revisit this in 8 to 12 hours. Look how tender this meat is. Is that gorgeous or what? Just look at all this gorgeous meat. By the way, I did heavily sample it, and it doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need any other seasoning. I literally kept picking and picking and picking. There was more than this. It's just that simple. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, tell me why so I can improve in the future. And don't forget to subscribe. I do put out new videos every Thursday with recipes and lifestyle inspiration, sometimes reviews, all about AIP. If you want to see everyday clips from behind the scenes, like what I bought at the grocery store, or maybe what I'm having for lunch or dinner or something like that, I post almost every day on Lens. It's just like Instagram stories, except it's on Patreon, but it's free to the public. You don't have to be a patron to view my clips. If you are a patron, I put out exclusive recipe videos once a month, but the clips are free. Anyway, I hope to see you soon, and until then, be healthy.